Hey guys, welcome back to Augmented Realm. This is Skull here, and today we actually have a very special episode. We have one of our newest members to the Augmented Reality Kingdom, and that would be my dear friend, Zamora. Say hello to everyone, dude.
Hey, what's up going on, guys?
Okay, so unfortunately, seeing as things have been kind of like wearing tight around the groups, and Goliath has been running himself ragged, trying to go all over the place and dealing with a lot of stuff on his own personal level, we decided to take in one of our good friends here and kind of help pick up the slack here on the podcast so we can do this on a regular and get you guys more up-to-date content and keep up with everything that's going on. Because if you know anything about the internet and you know anything about video gaming, every week there's something new. So now this week, boy, is Overwatch on fucking fire, right?
Sorry, something is on fire. Are you okay?
Overwatch is on fire. You know this.
Stop, drop, and roll.
So, if anyone, and I hope we still have a decent amount of fans of Overwatch over here. If anyone knows anything, right now we're going through the Lunar New Year's event, and the skins that came out, oh boy, gosh darn, are they some pretty nice skins that I may never get. But
probably will never get.
I like the theme that they went with this year, which was like the 4 heavenly guardians or something like that.
That is correct.
Yeah, so it's like the phoenix, the tiger, the turtle, and the dragon.
The lily.
The dragon. Lily.
Yep, Black Lily Widowmaker, Azure Dragon, Black Tortoise, and White Tiger.
Farah is the dragon, dude. She's just a separate one. Black Lily Widowmaker is just a separate thing.
Oh, that's a separate one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's not a heavenly guardian.
Hey, you know what? I don't know how their religion works. I'm not one to judge. If they want to have a flower as a guardian, that's their prerogative.
I mean, trust me, we know how evil certain flowers can be and how powerful some of them can be. So we're just going to leave it to that, because that's another topic that may never, ever be talked about. I played a good amount of frustrating games. I'd rather not. But speaking of frustration, though, I gotta say the finale for Overwatch League was really hoping it was New York Excelsior. Those guys literally almost went 9-0, but London Spitfire took it at the last second. It wasn't a sweep, thank God. It was at the very least a fight. It was really one hell of an intense fight. Anyone who's a diehard Overwatch fan is watching Overwatch League and is just like rooting for the teams. I'm a Dallas Fuel fan myself. Yes, I know that boat is sinking like a motherfucker though. But I don't really care. I'm gonna still stay a Dallas Fuel fan because they were able to take the preseason. Team Envious has been able to beat. I think what was the other team's name? They're basically the South Korean champions. You know, it was Team Envious versus the other team, I forget. And during Apex, they've been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I still have hope for Dallas Fuel because they are Team Envious. They were once Team Envious, but all the members for Team Envious are now part of Dallas Fuel. It's kind of like that kind of real thing. So I'm still gonna be like, yes, that's my boys. I'm gonna root for them. Fuck all y'all. But it was intense. Like, Overwatch League was great. I know, Zamora, unfortunately, you didn't get to watch it.
I did not get a chance, unfortunately. I have been busy, but I will catch up onto it on the replays.
Yeah, thank God. If anyone, if any of you guys want to actually watch it, I believe all of the recordings have been saved onto the Overwatch League official Twitter. So you can, not Twitter, goddamn. Twitch. If you go to their Twitch, it's all saved there. You should be good. But prepare yourself. Those streams are really fucking long.
As well, they should be. If it's a good match, it's a long match.
Exactly. But like, I looked at the final matches, like the final day of the first stage. It's an 11-hour 11 hour.
Oh my God.
I was like, how did I watch this for 11 hours? It didn't feel like it. But
that's dedication.
I watched it. That's crazy. So, but anyway, what I really wanted to talk about, besides all these Overwatch League and everything, I want to properly have Zamora be able to be a part of this, part of the ARK family, and um, every one of us in ARK are technically gamers, whether it be a casual gamer like Hati sometimes is, or I would say even Lolita is a casual gamer. But like
Yeah.
the lowest of casuals, I would say, is Goliath. He's like the farthest from an avid gamer. But I would
Yeah.
say, from what I know, that Zamora over here is a pretty avid gamer. Am I right?
Yes, I have been playing games since I was 4 years old, and frequently, not just on and off.
Yeah. So when it comes to our lives, we always have that one console and that one game that kind of molded our childhood. For
Hello?
me, my game that I remember the best and like I loved it to death when I was a kid was Jack and Daxter. That was like my thing, and the PlayStation 2 was like the first console that I can remember. I know I had a Super Nintendo, but I don't remember any of those fucking games.
Let's see. I gotta say, Sega Genesis.
Ooh,
Sega Genesis with Galactic Battletoads and Double Dragons was the game that shaped me.
wow.
Uh, yeah, that nice old 2D graphics and that insanely hard difficulty. But I've never actually beaten that game. I think I got up to the third level and just couldn't get any further.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of games from when we were kids and when we were kids, they were impossible to beat. Like I had a Sega Genesis too, and I think the only game I had for it was Tom and Jerry.
Really?
That was the only game I had for the Sega Genesis.
Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah. So that was most of my childhood was just like Jack and Daxter, and then I got to while still on the PlayStation, I got exposed to probably one of the best horror genre video games ever, and that would be Resident Evil. Now, some people may argue
Ooh.
Silent Hill is more scarier. Like I played. I'm sorry. I guess it's gonna hurt a lot of Silent Hill fans, but I only got to play Homecoming and
Oh,
Downpour.
oh,
Those are
you
the
poor
only
thing.
two. And I know the original ones are so good because I watched the Let's Plays of them. Because I was just like, this game is so good. I want to see what the originals were. And it's just like, if they ever made a remake of the original three, I'd buy them in a heartbeat. They
Well,
do like,
here's the thing.
go ahead.
I think you're talking about two different types of horror. Whereas Silent Hill appeals more to a psychological form of horror, past deeds, and one of the games even shapes itself to your psychological profile that it gives you in the beginning. Resident Evil is more of a visceral horror, where it's physical. You have blood dripping. There's distorted monsters that are trying to kill you. You're shooting back. Whereas Silent Hill is more of a you can attack, you can fight, but really it's more about trying to survive in a horror realm that's created by your own mind.
And ultimately, as I am as an adult now, that became my preferred style of horror, by the way. That's why I was just like, I love Silent Hill. But any horror gamers will always put the top two gods of horror as Silent Hill and Resident Evil.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. So that's why when I saw Silent Hill PT and it was
Uh,
with Norman Reedus,
oh my god.
I played I played the PT. I didn't get to. I played it after it got canceled, which sucked. But my one friend still had it on his PlayStation, and he brought it in, and I played it, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
What happened was a travesty.
Hey. So at least he got picked up by another company.
That's true, and luckily that company is Kojima Productions, which has a very good track record with creating amazing games with amazing storylines.
Can you remind me the guy who got fired? I know I can't
Hideo
remember.
Kojima,
Hideo Kojima. Thank you.
the
And
godfather of
you
Metal
saw
Gear.
I loved that it was like announced at the Video Game Awards. I think like last year or 2 years ago was it? That Hideo Kojima
I
got
think it
picked
was
up.
last year.
Yeah, it was last year that he announced Death Stranding, and it was with Norman Reedus, and I was so fucking happy.
Not just that, Guillermo del Toro is also part of the Starside cast, along with Mats Matherson. I'm not sure if I said that name correctly because I cannot pronounce his name. Is also part of the crew,
Wow.
which yeah, it's very star-studded casts. Um, as for the gameplay trailers, they haven't really released a lot of what's going on in true Kojima fashion, but it does seem to be a very interesting concept of what the hell is going on. There are giant invisible monsters, and there's a baby in my stomach.
Yeah, there is a lot of psychological bullshittery in that game. Like I saw the last trailer, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Though I do think the last trailer gave us the most insight as to what's happening, as it shows you that patch on the arm, the corpse disposal, which means that something had to happen in order for a corpse disposal team to be assembled,
Yeah,
and maybe
yeah.
maybe it's connected to the giant invisible alien things, or who knows if they're aliens? They look kind of human. Maybe it's one of the silent. Maybe he's gonna go the road of Silent Hill, and it's something created by our own minds.
If you know anything by Hideo Kojima, I definitely think he's gonna go the psychological route
Oh,
because
definitely.
the people who own Gore, besides Vestral, because I will always give Vestral like my heart for all the Gore games that they've made. I still
I
have I
yeah.
still have my 3 Dead Space games. I got the limited edition Dead Space 3, Dead Space 2, and the collector's edition of Dead Space 1. I'm a huge Gore fan. Dead Space was just like right up there. That was my teenage years. I fucking love that game. Fuck you, EA, for messing it up. But
Oh, I'm
Resident
with you on
Evil,
that.
yeah, Resident Evil, Resident Evil 7, by the way. I honestly, full heartedly believed that it was a retcon. I honestly did. It felt like it was a retcon before the fucking DLC came out.
See, I don't agree with you there. I feel like it was a reimagining.
It's definitely was
Okay.
it definitely was a reimagining, but I before the answers before they answered the questions about what the fuck is going on with Chris, why is he working with Umbrella again? I honestly thought it was a retcon because they even had like the what is it the manor, the mansion from the first one? I forget what it's called. God damn it.
And here's the thing, though, is that even with the Not a Hero DLC, they have hinted that Chris is not actually Chris.
Really? You think that that may be like a different Chris?
They haven't specifically said that that's not Chris Redfield, but when asked, is this our Chris Redfield? Because he looks vastly different. They refuse to answer the question.
So it's still up in air so that it's just mainly reimagining because I see what you're talking about, but like what I've noticed the Chris in throughout the years has changed vastly,
Oh
but
yeah.
not as much as like this Chris because it's one way to get bigger, 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 and then all of a sudden normal. But I think that was just because like people were just like complaining about how he looked like he was on straight steroids the entire time.
And let's not forget the punching boulders thing in Resident Evil 5.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever gonna let that one down. I don't
No,
think
I know I
anyone.
won't.
Like, like I don't. At the time, I think I was still young and I didn't give a shit. But now that I look back at it, I'm just like, why the fuck was he punching a boulder?
Right? It was, and not even how the fuck, not even why the fuck was he doing it. It was how the fuck was, like, he could have just climbed it, or, squeezed around the side, or any number of things other than punching it into submission. I think they were trying to appeal to a Western audience, where most Western audience solutions for things is just punch it into submission.
I mean, that sounds like the very American way to go.
You
But
know, not
he,
getting out of the way, punch it.
again, his signature weapon was the shotgun. If you unlocked it, you would get the what is it the
Hydra.
Hydra,
Yep.
and that was only used. I think that was only usable by Chris.
If I remember correctly, that is right.
Yeah.
The three-barreled shotgun, which I didn't use because honestly it was fucking useless.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a shotgun fan, so I used it.
See, I'm more of a long-range kill 'em before they get there.
Now I am. Now I'm more like, oh yeah, you're waltzing about. Yeah, I'll kill you without you even noticing. But man, like the way games are going right now, it's really fucking awesome. Like we just got Horizon Zero Dawn was fucking amazing.
Oh my god!
Like
And the DLC for it continued the amazing streak. It
yeah,
was a
oh yeah.
Very well done.
And to go back into the topic of like childhood games, if anyone's ever played Ico or Shadow of the Colossus,
Yes.
I got to play The Last Guardian. It was fucking amazing. And then they remade Shadow of the Colossus, and it looks amazing.
I have not yet gotten to play that, but that is next on my list of games to buy because goddamn those screenshots.
Oh yeah, right now what's on my list to buy is Monster Hunter World,
Okay.
and the remake for Shadow of the Colossus. Those two are my must buys for this year. If anything else comes out, I do know a few things might be coming out this year.
Anthem's supposed to be coming out this year, right?
Yeah, I've been on the fence about Anthem. I've been on the fence because it's hard to pull me in with another team shooter when I'm absolutely 100% obsessed with Overwatch. Like I've in the time frame that I've gotten Overwatch, I've gotten Final Fantasy 15, Outlast Trinity, Last Guardian, The Division, Titanfall 2, Destiny 2, World War 2. Like none of those games have been able to pull me away long enough for me to stay away from Overwatch for more than a month. Resident Evil took a good amount of my time though. When Resident Evil 7 came out, whoo boy, I had fun.
And that's once again that's the point of any good game is to have the user have fun. But I feel like their content is more of it's meant to be had in short. It's the best way to put it is it's meant for people who work full-time jobs. It's not so much meant for people who have a lot of time. So it's or are obsessive in nature, like you and me. Um, so it's meant to play a little bit, come back, play a little bit, come back. And so people like us who are boom just grind straight through it are not going to enjoy it as much because that's not what it was designed for, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can see what you're talking about. Usually, for me though, back when I was a Dead Space fan, I this is gonna sound crazy, but I played Dead Space 1 over 20 times. 100% it, did
Oh
everything.
my god.
I can speed run this game and beat it in like 4 hours now.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah. And Resident Evil was like that. I got sucked into Resident Evil like that, where I was just like, I tried to 100% it. I haven't been able to, but like I did everything. I sped run it in under I think 6 or 4 hours, so it was
Ooh.
crazy. Yeah.
Wow. I think it's the main issue is those damn coins. Where the fuck are those coins?
See, that's why I think what is it? If you beat the game in under 4 hours or something, there's a certain condition. If you beat the game in this certain condition, you get X-ray specs, and you can see where everything's at. So
Oh, thank God.
yeah, so I did that, and then I went the completionist route and got everything. There's even
See?
there's even
Playing
a
the smart
way-
game.
Yeah, there's even a way to get a gun that essentially is for an end game result, and you can get it at the beginning instead, and that's why I did.
Oh, yes, the Albert.
No, not that one.
Not that one.
You have to beat the game to do that. I'm talking about an end game, like a more closer towards the end game weapon that in your first Let's Play you would never realize, but I did. For some reason,
Oh.
I did. You find a repair kit, and you can take the broken shotgun and fix it.
Right.
Right in
Right,
the
you have
fucking
the-
beginning.
You have the option to fix one of the two guns.
Yes. Most people choose to fix the handgun. I fixed the shotgun.
That's because you love shotguns. You're a boomstick person.
Well, for Resident Evil, shotguns were useful.
True. I am not denying that they're useful. Hell, in the real world, they're useful. Wanna know what people remove doors with? Shotguns.
But that's why my choice of weapons, if a zombie apocalypse were to ever happen, would be a shotgun. And a crowbar.
I don't know. In a zombie scenario, I'd prefer something. Maybe a carbine would probably be my. It's light, compact, accurate up to. Most of them are accurate up to 400 meters, over to 800 at maximum range. They have a good ammo clip, usually around 30 rounds, and can pierce. So if I need to shoot through something, I can.
Okay, so I think I found my sniper. We were talking. I had this talk with my girlfriend and my roommates the other day. Who would be what? My one friend who's pretty hefty, said, you know, I'm just gonna be like the tank role. Give me like a flamethrower or something. I was just like, I'll give you a minigun. But to be honest, that's not a wise decision in any way, shape, or form. We want to be
Oh no,
quiet. My choice of weapon, in all honesty, in reality, a crowbar.
crowbar. That's
Crowbar.
smart. The only issue is you have to worry about that hook. You can never hit him with the hook side, otherwise it might get caught in the
Oh yeah,
skull.
you're screwed if you do that.
Yeah,
I know for a fact though, if you just go for just whack them in the back of the neck and just snap the spinal cord that way, that's your best chance. That's your best chance. Um, or you know, you just jab them in to the straight end.
yeah, straight on through the eye.
The reason why I prefer the crowbar though, there there's one in every school bus, so you can find them easily. You can
Okay.
use them to break into places. You can use them to escape, and it's just all around. A blunt weapons are better than most sharp weapons. Like most people are just like, nah, my weapon would be a katana. First off, the katana might break. Second off, katanas don't always cut through the way that you want it to, and it's
And
just
they
like,
can only
go
cut
ahead.
through if you're trained properly too. Like a lot of
Exactly.
people have no training.
You're better off if you want a katana. You're better off using a machete. Serrated edges make worse damage, making the spinal cord easier to break through. We
See,
sound
I'd
like
use a
sociopaths. Holy
Yeah,
shit!
I was just thinking about that. Like we're discussing this, and I'm just thinking, our listeners think we're gonna kill people.
No, I only know this because of was I think it was Deadliest Warrior or something like that. Stupid.
I know this just because I think about this a lot. Joking, joking, joking.
I just watch shows. I don't think about. Well, I do think about it because it's cool. Because I love zombies as a game. They're the blue collar monster, as George A. Romero has said, the Godfather of all zombies. I fucking love
May
that
he
guy.
rest in peace.
Yeah, that's right. He did pass away.
Yep,
That hurt.
saddest day of my life.
God, I remember that. I was sad for like a good amount of time. I'm not gonna say all day. I wasn't like, oh, saddest day of my life because it's just like I didn't get to appreciate George A. Romero as much as I wanted to. But like, I watched his films. That's what mattered. But in all
Yep.
honesty, it's kind of hard to be sad for someone you barely know at the same time. You know, but rest in peace, George A. Romero. Thank you so much for giving us a full several generations of zombies and great movies, and great video games. I mean, if it wasn't
Yeah,
for
true.
George A. Romero, we probably would not have the video games we have today. And like it's so great in the whole aspect of all this, and like again, it was awesome where things stand. But I did want to jump into a different topic. Well, back onto an old topic of like psychological horror games. I think a good up and coming series, which I hope it is a series, and I hope it's not done, would be Evil Within. I think that might be.
Yeah. They did leave that a little open ended at the end of what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
Though to be fair, and this is a spoiler alert, so cover your ears if you haven't beaten the second game. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to do that. One, two, three, four, five. You should have done it by now. Um, they killed the evil organization people, so you know where can unless there's a new power that comes in, you've effectively ended the story.
Exactly.
Hello.
Hold up.
Jesus Christ. So yes, you've effectively ended the story. So unless you introduce a new element of terror, a new bad guy, a new overarching evil entity, you essentially will have nowhere to go. Unless it's a game about a quiet life. Who knows? Maybe it's a game about PTSD. Maybe it's a game following that girl's quest on a road to vengeance. I mean, maybe we'll revisit the cortex in a way that's peaceful. Who it's
I have
psychological horror.
I
And
have
you're back.
one. Yeah, I have
Okay.
one theory. Ruvik.
Let- All right.
That's it.
Let's see.
He's not dead. He's in the real world. We didn't know what happened to him. Remember that.
That's true.
Remember that. That has not been answered yet, unless there's DLC and we're missing out.
But also, even if Ruvik is back in the real world, he'd need to find a. I mean, he'd be starting from scratch. He'd need funds, resources, personnel. Well, maybe not personnel. He's pretty goddamn smart, but uh, he'd need. He need. I mean, this would have to take. Maybe we'd be playing as the daughter, as this would take years to do.
True.
Maybe it's now the daughter's turn.
True. Well, I guess if there are answers and we're missing them, then well, oh well. Um, but one staying to certain series that I would like to continue, Outlast,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'd have to agree with you there. It's a very well done survival horror. Well, not survival horror. Psychological horror. I mean,
Psychological survival horror. It is definitely survival.
I feel like it doesn't quite fit survival, as you're not you're only collecting batteries. When I think of survival, I think of um I'm trying to remember, like 7 Days to Die,
Yeah,
uh
but you're given
The
weapons. This is
Forest.
this is like, oh, this is like you can't fight back at all, bro. That shit's
Well,
scary.
oh no, that is terrifying. It's one of the things. It's one of the things that I love and bothers me about the game is that on one hand I want to punch the ever loving shit out of those things. On the other hand, I'm not able to.
Exactly, yeah. But I think it's still because of the third one. I think is it the third one? Is it called Outlast
Third
2?
one, there is Outlast. Then there's Whistleblower, which is a prequel, and then there's Outlast 2.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry. There'll
That's all right.
totally be a third one at this point. I'm joking around, but because of 2, I see that there's totally more room to go anywhere with this game.
Oh, without a doubt, they have, especially the way that they've set it up. They've set it up where, and they've improved it with the second one, where we don't need the traditional, um, uh, insane asylum backdrop to do this. We can make this work anywhere in the world. Look, we're in Arizona now. We can do this.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was really great. I think Outlast 2 was I would say just as extreme as Outlast 1. I think just as extreme. Like Outlast
I'd
1
say
is
more
up there.
extreme.
Do you think
I
more
would definitely,
extreme?
I think more extreme because the way it sets you up, it's more not necessarily, it's more cinematic. I want to say,
Yeah.
like with the crash at the beginning, it's more of a holy shit, you're gonna die. Oh wait, nope, you're just gonna suffer a little longer. It's that push and pull.
Yeah.
It
Can,
knows.
can I
Yeah.
can we talk about the what the fuck ending though?
Actually, I haven't beaten the game yet. I'm about halfway through.
Are you okay with spoilers?
I'm completely okay with spoilers.
The people, the religious nut jobs, are not insane.
Well, that's a matter
No.
of debate.
No. Everything they were talking about was true. This
Well,
the
just because it's
ending.
true doesn't make you insane.
Okay, okay, they were insane. That's true because they were murderous and fucking.
Yeah,
They
I mean they
were
were
fucking.
straight up killing people.
Yeah, which is no matter what cause right, it's not cool. But
Here's a public service announcement: murder is bad.
but there, you have no idea. It gets so fucking insane. Either your character has got insane at the end,
Okay.
or the Antichrist was actually genuinely born, and that's the end of the world.
Well, here's the thing: is who's to say what counts as insane? I mean, we have basic diagnosis for it, but also, especially in video games, which we don't know the way their world works. We don't know because remember, this is clearly a work of fiction. It's a fictional world. Maybe their definition of insane is different. Maybe, for all we know, the normal people, if you're looking through the eyes of an insane person, they're insane. They don't make sense. They're the ones who have a twisted distortion of reality, whereas the people in the commune, who are technically right, apparently, um, uh, their way of thinking is correct. So, are they truly insane? I mean, other than the murder, because I cannot say this enough. People, if you're listening, do not murder people unless you absolutely have to. And I'm talking about straight up self defense. Do not twist my words. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Murder in any way, shape, or form is not cool unless, again, it's out of self defense. Then I don't think anyone's gonna really hold that against you. I mean,
We should,
court
yeah, we
will.
should move
Court
past
will
this.
totally. Let's anyway.
Yeah.
Back to the whole thing on Outlast. Like, I I'm kind of speechless because I'm reiterating what went through at the end, and it's
Okay.
oh my god, it's like how can I compare it? You ever watched
Um.
10 Cloverfield Lane?
Um. No, I have not.
Fuck. It's a good
Yeah.
comparison. It is a good comparison. If I have any recommendations, go ahead, watch the Cloverfield trilogy. I know the first Cloverfield was the worst movie ever, but that happened
What?
in '08.
It was awesome.
'08. Just remember, the year '08 was when a lot of writers quit, so a lot of movies were trashed from that year.
That's true. That's true. The writer's strike.
Yeah. So regardless, I don't know why it took them like 10 years to fucking answer the questions that needed to be answered for Cloverfield. So, but if you haven't watched Cloverfield, watch the first one, then watch 10 Cloverfield Lane. Be like, they have no fucking correlation. Then watch Cloverfield Paradox, and you'll be like, oh my fucking god, that all makes sense now. I'm done. It was, oh, it was my mind just like it was so fucking good. Like
Well, I know
Cloverfield
what I'm doing
Paradox.
tonight.
Yes, Cloverfield Paradox is great, but watch 10 Cloverfield Lane before you watch Cloverfield Paradox. By the
Sure.
way, Cloverfield Paradox is on Netflix. Good luck finding 10 Cloverfield Lane. I don't know where you're gonna have to get it from, but
Pirated.
yeah. Well, I pirated it too, so you know, I'm not gonna judge you.
Not that we're advocating piracy, because piracy is bad. Wink.
Yes, piracy is bad. Let's not. We're not going to advocate that, but we all know it's a hassle to just have to pay for a movie. I'm joking. I'm saying this as I'm getting ready for this weekend to go watch Black Panther in a dine-in theater. Yeah, cool. You're not a fucking hypocrite, skull man. Like really. Anyway, that movie, the movie series needed the paradox because it was just it answered a lot of questions that were just like, what, why, just why.
Well, yeah, that series. I mean, that's one of the things that the main critics had against the series was it didn't make sense. Even the first one was one of the main criticisms was nothing was answered. The second one, apparently, nothing was answered. But sometimes it takes storytelling takes a bit. You don't get to the end. It doesn't make sense till the end of the story.
Yeah, like for the past few years that I watched 10 Cloverfield Lane, I watched it like like a month after it came out, and I was just like, oh, it was a really good movie by itself. It was really good. It's just like, okay, that's good. I know it has nothing to do with Cloverfield because it didn't relate to any of the stuff in Cloverfield. And then
It had the name.
Paradox. Yeah, but then I thought it was just like a coincidence or something. But then because like you wouldn't think something from like several years ago would be correlated to something now. And it's just like, nah. I even thought Cloverfield Paradox wasn't related. Then when I saw the ending, I'm like, holy shit.
Does it involve the release of a gigantic?
No.
Potential spoiler alert!
Okay,
Potential spoiler alert!
okay. You guys have 5 seconds. Pause the video. Go watch the movie or do whatever the fuck you want. There are spoilers coming in 5, 4, 3, 2,
2-1.
1. Okay, so at the end of Cloverfield Paradox, the people are escaping on the escape pod. They're crashing into Earth, and then the fucking monster pops out of the fucking clouds.
God damn! And so
that's how it fucking ends.
That's how Cloverfield 1 starts.
Yes, the events of Cloverfield Paradox leads to the events of Cloverfield.
Thus creating the paradox. If one doesn't happen, one cannot exist without the other. Ergo, by changing one aspect, you've created a paradox.
It's
nice.
It's more of the reason why it's called the paradox is because they use the particle accelerator to try to make infinite energy. Perpetual energy. That's what they
perpetual energy.
But everyone knows with the particle accelerator, also known as the what was it called again?
Large Hadron Collider.
The Hadron Collider, that it can rip a hole in the space-time continuum. That's one of the theories. And it's also correlates to like making a black hole, which We're not going to
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about
We're
that.
not going to. We had a discussion about this. We're not going
We
to
had
talk
this.
about that because if
Yeah.
we're wrong,
Nope.
then I don't want to be right at the same time. Anyway, so what happened with the particle accelerator called the Shepherd that they were using? It was on the spaceship. They used it. It worked, but they got teleported into another dimension.
Yay, sci-fi!
So their dimension is exactly the same as this our dimension. It's just Russia went to war with China. China starts attacking America, kind of thing. Everything's going bad.
So, also known as 2019.
Yeah, but because they ripped the hole through the space-time continuum, that's how the monster got onto Earth.
Makes sense.
Yes, and that's why like reality and stuff that they're happening in Cloverfield that doesn't make any sense. That's why it's happening
It's because it's an alternate universe.
it's because the universes are colliding into each other.
Oh, okay. So it's much more serious than just, hey, we accidentally released a monster. It's, hey, we're destabilizing space-time.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's actually a very good way to wrap that up.
Yes. So that and anyone who still wants to watch it after hearing these spoilers, please go watch it. It's great. There's this one part in the movie that if you see it, you notice it, and you chuckle a little. Please comment down below. I'm not going to say what it is.
We have comments?
It is going on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Yes. This is not going on Facebook. We're not doing it. No. Me and you, we're going to be YouTube stars, my bro.
God, living the
just
dream.
go ahead. If you see the scene, please comment down on it. It's like a quick frame, and it's so nonchalant, and it's funny. I saw it and it was just like, did that really
It's a nice Easter egg.
Yeah, I was just like, did that really just happen? Did they just really make a quick frame of that one moment while these two people are like, I'm not even going to tell you which scene it is, but it involves a very dramatic part and it involves two people. That's it. That's all you're going to need to know.
See, now I have an image in my mind, and I have to watch the movie now, because if I'm wrong, I want to know that I'm wrong. Fuck you, Skrull.
It's Skull, not Scroll.
Lolita told me it was Skrull.
Should probably autocorrect to Scroll.
Well, that's my day. I see how this day is gonna go.
Oh yeah. So we're about there, reaching our time limit, and I greatly appreciate Zamora joining us for today's podcast, and hopefully in the future this can become a regular so that we can bring you more stupid moments of this shit and talk more video games, more movies, more animes, and more cartoons. See you guys next time. I'm Skull. This is our Augmented Realm. And go ahead and say whatever you need to say, Zamora.
This is Zamora, and thank you for listening.
Hasta luego.